Hello, everybody. It is Professor Parrish, and we are on Module 11 for English 122. So I'm going to scroll down here. I hope you all have had a really good weekend. I'm recording this on Sunday. So if you've not done the thesis outline discussion form number 10, please make sure you do so. It's due tonight. But in the meantime, let's talk about Module 11. So you do have this week to work on your paper 2, paper number 3. We talked about that last week in the Module 10 lecture video. But for this week, it's Halloween Sunday when things are due. So I'm going to talk about that too at the end of this video. But there's not a lot of reading this week, mainly going over tragedy and comedy and then modern theater and discussing modern theater. In our old textbook, it was American drama is what it was called. But modern theater, the big difference is that if you've noticed with Shakespeare and Greek plays, they kind of have very similar thematic elements, and a lot of them deal with kings and queens, with royalty and the upper class. But around the end of the 18th century and into the 19th century, a lot of people were just tired of hearing about rich people and their rich people first world problems. And so you saw, especially during the Great Depression, the genre of American drama kind of really started to take root. And it was just the idea of having protagonists that were relatable, that were more like the common folk, that weren't royalty, that weren't nobility. They were just modern people that were suffering through problems that the audience could relate to. And they were more realistic in terms of their scope. You didn't have so much, you didn't have Deus Ex Machinas anymore. There weren't gods involved. There wasn't really a supernatural element. They were more realistic, down-to-earth plays. And that's kind of where modern theater took root. And since then, it's developed and evolved over time, and you kind of can see like mixtures of that in present theater. But the modern theater chapter kind of talks about the beginning of the American drama genre and how modern theater has kind of shaped into the way it is. So there's several different sections of that I put on here, but just those two sections here. And then the other two assignments for the week are going to be the discussion forum and then reading response number 5. So the discussion forum, this video that I found talking about theater, it's about 15 minutes long. It is, it's not, I don't think it's as engaging as Malkovich. I really like John Malkovich and his video from last week, but it's a little bit different talking about theater. And so what I would like for you to do is it's about 15 minutes long to watch this video and then answer the questions below. So the first one being, what concept from the video about theater did you find most interesting? It talks about several. Comparing this with Malkovich's video from last week, are there similar themes or conversations that happen between them? Spoiler alert, there are, and I'm curious to know which ones you point out. And then finally, this answer can also be related to question 1. What do you think has changed the most over the course of history with theater based on the video? So theater has evolved in a lot of different ways since its conception. And so based on the video, what do you think is the most interesting change that's happened over time? And there's lots of different changes that have occurred, so there's really no wrong answer here. I'm just curious to know what your favorite is over all of them. So those are the 3 questions for the discussion forum, and it's due on Halloween night. And then the other assignment for this week is the reading response number 5, and you're going to choose 2 plays from our textbook. And so the 2 plays, they don't have to be long plays. They can be short 1-act plays. I had a student ask what a 1-act is. And normally in a play structure, you have 3 acts. So you have your beginning, your middle, and your end. And in those acts, you can have multiple scenes. So, Hamlet, for example, has 3 acts, but there can be like 2 or 3 scenes per act. It just depends. In a 1-act play, there's only 1 act, 1 scene. It's just a short play. It just takes place at one time. Maybe it has 2 scenes, but usually it's 1 scene. It's just usually dialogue heavy and it's character based. There's not a lot of plot going on, but our textbook has some of those in it. So you can choose 2 short plays if you want to. Or I didn't list it here, but if you have 2 plays in mind that aren't in our textbook, you can use those as well. Just make sure you put in there what those plays are. So the questions for this reading response are, first of all, why did you choose the plays that you did? What chapters are they from? If you chose plays that are outside of the textbook, just make sure to say that. 2, how does each play serve as a representation of the theme for that chapter? So if you chose a play that's not in our textbook, let's say you picked Hamilton as a play and you picked Little Shop of Horrors. Let's say you picked those 2 plays. What theme why is it a representation of theme? And you'd have to explain, what is Hamilton's theme? What is Little Shop of Horrors' theme? Why is it a good representation of that? That's all you have to put for that one. And then, which play did you like better and why? What would you change about the play that you didn't like the best? So if I had to pick Hamilton or Little Shop, that's really hard. I like them both really for different reasons. So that's really, really difficult. I'd probably have to say I like Hamilton more than Little Shop, only because I think overall the plot is more consistent and solid from beginning to end, whereas Little Shop of Horrors has kind of ups and downs. And there are parts of Little Shop of Horrors that I skip through, but with Hamilton, I don't really skip through anything. So that would be my explanation for that decision there. So that's really the reading response. Again, it only has to be about a page in length, double space, 12-point font, all that fun stuff. But that is the assignment for this week. Please note, I know Halloween's this Sunday. I know everybody, myself included, has Halloween plans. That's fine. Just make sure you get your assignments done on time. If you need to turn in your reading response and do your discussion forum before the weekend, I would recommend doing that, because telling me that you were at a Halloween party all weekend and you didn't get your homework done, that's not gonna work. So, as y'all know, I don't do late assignments. So if you need to do your assignments ahead of time, please make sure that you manage your time and you do so, okay? So that's pretty much it. Next week, we'll talk about the paper being due. You can go ahead and look ahead. Module 12 is posted. It should be posted. And that is just going to be the drama exam and paper 3 next week, which we'll talk about when we get to it. But in the meantime, if y'all have any questions, please make sure you email me and ask. Just try to email me before Friday, because like I said, like everybody else, I've got plans this weekend. I probably will not be on my computer. So just make sure that you email me before Friday if you've got any questions, and try to get your work done ahead of time. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a very wonderful week. Please have a safe Halloween, stay safe, and take care. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all next week with Module 12 of English 122. Bye.